Good morning. I'm just admiring the sky. I already had my walk this morning before the sun even got up, and I'm telling you, you guys, there's no better thing. I keep saying it, but guys and gals, rather, it's no better thing. Get up in the morning, take your walk. You're having communion with your Creator. There's nothing better. Some might think even think, oh, I don't want to bother God, he's busy. You know what? God wants a relationship with you. He wants a relationship with me. He wants a relationship with all his children. It is a lovely, lovely morning. On the chilly side a little bit. And I'm just about ready to start my day. Oh, BLT transport, bacon, lettuce, and tomato. I'm sorry. I just get I get a laugh at a lot of these companies that come out of Canada. I guess they run out of name. Oh, this one's out of Kent, Washington. Okay, BLT. There's a BLT transport also in Canada. Yeah, I'm gonna go drop some fuel in my tanks and make my way. And it's gonna be interesting because I have got 19 hours and 52 minutes to get to where I'm going, and I have about 18 and a half hours to do it. So I've got to gain some time from here to there, and I should be able to do. It'll be interesting to see how I do. It will be neat, providing I don't have too many hills I have to deal with. I should be okay. Well, we got another hour. We got another hour and 43 minutes to go, and then we'll be done for the day. It's been kind of gloomy most of the day, except when I left Butte, it was nice there. But snow on and off, and as you can see, a little overcast. Snowing in the mountains over there. Can't tell you how much I'm looking forward to finally making my way into Nevada. Isn't that beautiful? How the sun hits the top of that mountain up there, and there's a cabin, or no, I wouldn't say a cabin, but a house right on the top of that hill over there. Beautiful countryside. Really is. Well, good morning, my dear friends. Last night when I made it here, I could not get my APU unit to turn on. Kept turning on and then shutting off and saying engine check and all this and restarting. So I don't know what's going on with it. I don't have time to look at it right now. I've got 7 hours and 20 minutes of driving to do, and when I get to my destination where I'm going to be doing a reset, I'll check the oil levels and everything on the APU. The levels could be low. Sometimes if you have the oil levels low or something like that, it will, as a protective mechanism, it just won't run. It'll shut itself off. So I'll check the oil. If the oil levels look good, then I'll make another phone call and ask them about getting someone to look at it, because this truck does not let you idle it at night, so it shuts down. So it got very cold last night. Wasn't the most pleasant sleep, waking up going but what do you do? Nothing much you can do about that. We'll make the necessary phone call in the morning, or when people are in, and let them know that the APU unit needs to be looked at, and then we can go from there. But just as I was saying, look at how beautiful this countryside is. Absolutely lovely. Beautiful countryside. I'm really hoping to see some sunshine today. Didn't see a whole lot of it yesterday. As we make our way closer and closer to Phoenix, Arizona. been a very long time since I've had an opportunity to come through here. This is the Virgin River Gorge. It's kind of like the little panhandle area of Nevada, Arizona, and Utah. Right now, we just crossed into Arizona, and once we make our way through the Virgin River Gorge, we'll be into Nevada. So it's your stay in Arizona in this area is very, very brief. But this is some really beautiful countryside through here. It's really, really gorgeous. So, for those of you that have never seen this before, I'm just going to let the camera go, and I'm going to show you some highlights as we go through here. And what I love about this area is you can see the water levels, where the water levels used to be at one point in time on the hills and everything. And you can see how the water has shaped these mountains. And anyway, I could just go on and on and on. It's just absolutely a beautiful, breathtaking view, and I really hope you enjoy it. Just on the outskirts of Vegas, Las Vegas. And I am going to stop at this pilot and top up all my fluids. Well, just my diesel. They got a Freightliner dealer right there too. Oh, nice. Or maybe that's Western Star there. Oh no, it is Freightliner too. Fortunately, I don't need it. But I do gotta find a carrier dealer. I wonder if there's one right around here somewhere. Wouldn't that be convenient? Yeah. Well, I won't need to be keeping myself warm when I'm in Phoenix. I got a feeling I'm gonna immediately. No, I guess not. No, this is it. So I should be okay. Might have to hit a place though on the way back, back to Calgary because it's my only source of heat. All right, all topped up here. And we are on our way out of here. This is one of the Flying J's, I guess. That's probably not the most popular. Take one look at the parking situation here. Yeah, this lot's not the greatest for cleanliness either. You know, it's kind of funny. You'd think that these truck stops would really spiff up their truck stops in Vegas just to be more inviting. I guess not. I guess not. So we will make our way back onto the 15 and then we will take the 93 and get as close as we can to Phoenix. Well, we're just on the 11 right now, working our way towards 93. That's quite a view down there. Quite a drop. I can't say I've ever been down here before. This route anyway. I do believe this is where the Hoover Dam is. What does it tell you when they tell you to stay in the left lane for the next mile? Probably because of the wind. Wow, that's quite a drop there. Can't see much of it there. I guess the Hoover Dam is just below us here. Gotta love Arizona though. Now we're in Arizona. I think I've seen some of the more beautiful landscape I've ever seen, and that's in Arizona, so quite amazing. I have made another change. I am going to be stopping at the Loves up here. I was talking to my buddy Devin, and he said that this is a much better option than the Petro or the Pilot that's up the road. It's a lot cleaner, newer location. Besides, I'd rather give my business to Loves anyway, because the Pilot and Flying J in Arizona or Phoenix they charge for parking. I'd rather get, and Loves to Loves they don't. They said they would never charge for parking, so I'd rather give them my business for the next 36 hours. Hopefully there's plenty of parking, which I think there will be. Besides, the Loves are usually quite nice, clean, presentable. That's what we're gonna do. And this guy's cutting right into my lane. Look at that. What a nice turn. Wow, buddy, that's great. That 12 corner nice and tight, don't they? La 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 la. And this is what you normally see at these truck stops. People looking for fuel. Good size one here. Let's take a little peekaboo. Oh, there's lots of parking there, but I wonder if those are reserved spots. No, it doesn't look like it, so lots of spots here to park. Gotta like that. This is a nice location.
Hi everyone, it is Trucker Ray. Welcome to another edition of Bible Break as we continue our series in the book of Revelation, chapter 18 today, as we discuss Babylon the Great has fallen, the fall of Babylon. And this is a very intense chapter, chapter 18. We will be reading out of the New King James Version. But first of all, I just wanted to say thank you for all your comments. For those of you that are feeling amazingly blessed by this series, as I am feeling amazingly blessed reading it to you. So let's get to it. After these things I saw another angel coming down from heaven, having great authority, and the earth was illuminated with his glory. Here's an angel that's illuminating the earth. Who do you think this could be? Could this be St. Michael? Could be. Or Gabriel. Gabriel was known as one to make announcements, the messenger. Verse 2, and he cried out mightily with a voice, saying, Babylon the Great has fallen, and has become a dwelling place of demons, a prison for every foul spirit, and a cage for every unclean and hated bird. For all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. The kings of the earth have committed fornications with her, and the merchants of the earth have become rich through the abundance of her luxury. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, lest you share in her sins, and lest you receive of her plagues. This is an incredible city. Do you remember when 9/11 happened? And they seen smoke for miles, and everyone thought this was Babylon that went down. Could New York City be Babylon later on? Could it be Rome, the new revived Roman Empire, the city? Oh, one can only tell. Verse 5, for her sins have reached to heaven, and God has remembered her iniquities. Render to her just as she rendered to you, and repay her double according to her works. In the cup which she has mix double for her. My gosh, God is very, very angry with those who inhabit this city. In the measure that she glorified herself and lived luxuriously, in the same measure give her torment and sorrow, for she says in her heart, I sit as queen, and am no widow, and will not see sorrow. Therefore her plagues will come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she will be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord who judges her. The kings of the earth who committed fornication and lived luxuriously with her will weep and lament for her when they see the smoke of her burning. Verse 10, standing at a distance for fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour your judgment has come. That's why so many people thought it was New York City, because in 1 hour those buildings came down, and that was it. Verse 11, and the merchants of the earth will weep and mourn over her, for no one buys their merchandise anymore. Merchandise of gold and silver, precious stones and pearls, fine linen and purple, silk and scarlet, every kind of citron wood, every kind of object of ivory, every kind of object of most precious wood, bronze, iron, and marble. Everything you can get here. And cinnamon, incense, fragrant oil, and frankincense, wine and oil, fine flour, wheat, cattle and sheep, horses and chariots, and bodies of souls of men. Wow. So here's a city during this time of tribulation, that is going to provide the world with pretty well everything. It will be the center of everything. You'll be able to buy and sell everything here. Verse 14, the fruit that your soul longed for has gone from you, and all the things which are rich and splendid have gone from you, and you shall find them no more at all. The merchants of these things who became rich by her will stand at a distance for fear of her torment, weeping and wailing. Here you have people crying their eyes out because they're seeing this city burned to the ground or just gone. It's possible. Look at the people, how many people were upset when the Twin Towers came down. Just the fear of what's happening, what's going on. Verse 16, and they will say, alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen, purple and scarlet, and adorned with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour such great riches came to nothing. Every shipmaster, all who traveled by ship, sailors, and as many as trade on the sea stood at a distance and cried out when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what is like this great city? They threw dust on their heads and cried out, weeping and wailing and saying, alas, alas, that great city in which all who had ships on the sea became rich by her wealth. For in 1 hour she is made desolate. Rejoice over her, O heaven, and you, holy apostles and prophets, for God has avenged you on her. Then a mighty angel took up a stone like a great hailstone and threw it into the sea, saying, thus with violence the great city of Babylon shall be thrown down and shall not be found anymore. Verse 22, the sound of harpists, musicians, flutists, and trumpeters shall not be heard in you anymore. No craftsman of any craft shall be found in you anymore. And the sound of a millstone shall not be heard in you anymore. The light of a lamp shall not shine in you anymore. And the voice of bridegroom and bride shall not be heard in you anymore. Nothing is going to happen in the city anymore. A bridegroom and bride, no marriage, no buying, no selling, no happiness, no joy, nothing. This city has become desolate, nothing, dust. For the merchants were the great men of the earth, for by your sorcery all the nations were deceived. And in her was found the blood of prophets and saints, and of all who were slain on the earth. That is pretty intense. This is even more intense than the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. Absolutely amazing. Next time we will have verse 19. And now we are getting into some amazing stuff. And I can't wait to bring this to you. Again, if you want to share your thoughts, you can send me an email to truckerray7@gmail.com. Let me know what you think of this, because I would absolutely love to read what your comments. And I want to hear testimonials of the blessings you've received from this, because every single day I feel blessings in my life, every day, because I am reading this series. It's amazing.
Hi there, my name is Robert Wolf. I'm from Cornelius, North Carolina, USA. You're watching Life on the Road with Yeshua and Trucker Ray.
Good morning, everyone. We are on our way to Phoenix. We're about 2.5 hours away. Yeah, we left Kingman about a half an hour ago. It was a decent reset. Not terribly excited about that, loves, because there's nothing around. Just that truck stop, and that is it. -1 out here in 2.5 hours away from Phoenix. So if you people think it's always hot down here, think again. Think again. Well, I am not having a very good trip. APU goes, and now I'm like overheating like you would not believe. I don't know what's happened here. Know what's leaking in here. Can't tell. Oh, you know what it looks like? Looks like one of these lines again. Wow, I'm telling you, man, this APU unit is a real headache. Yep, that's exactly what it is. It's this line right here. Oh. Most of my rad fluid is all gone. Jeez Louise. This is a terrible place to break down. Wow, there's just no end to this. There's just no end to this. Yeah, it was this line. Something heated up again. Something burst on it. Wow. I don't know. Maybe I can get enough radiator fluid in there to get going. Well, let's see what I got. I should have 2 full things of rad fluid. I don't know. Maybe I can get to the next town. Wow, it's just not one thing, it's another with this APU unit. It's turning into a complete disaster. It's amazing. These lines that go to the APU unit, it must be they must be cheap parts or something for them to keep going like that. And the part that bothers me is, as it was draining all my radiator fluid, all my coolant, the truck didn't tell me at all until the last second. Then it's like, okay, we're derating you now. I could have stopped in a town up here, unless the thing just went all of a sudden. But I put a lot of coolant, a lot of water in there, and it's still not even close to even being up at a level where I can drive with it. So now on-road repair is probably going to have to find some way to get me some coolant or water or something, because there's nothing around here. I'm literally in the desert. managed to get the truck over here to a pullout, which was just not even a quarter mile up the hill. And I am literally in the middle of nowhere. There used to be a town here, I was told. And a gas station used to be over here. And the town is literally called nothing. I kid you not. I guess at one point in time there used to be a service station here. Nothing, Arizona. Isn't that hilarious? You know, as crazy as it sounds, this is the sort of stuff I like looking at. Yeah. Makes you kind of wonder what it was like out here when this gas station actually was working. Well, we have a service truck from Petro coming over to bring me some coolant. I'm pretty sure that's all I need. That's really bizarre that it's the same line that went last time. I'm not having a whole lot of confidence in that APU unit anymore, I'll tell you. They're gonna have to give it a good look over and check everything. I bet you it's not terribly safe to be walking around here. Could be rattlesnakes around here, I don't know. Well, I'm gonna go wait at the truck. I'm just really concerned that that food I have in my fridge is gonna go bad and I'm gonna have to throw it all out because I got no way to cook it. This is turning into a nightmare, this trip. All because of this carrier APU unit. Caused me grief last time, it shut me down again. It's amazing how something can shut you down and it doesn't even work. As you can see right in here. It's leaking right in here, so I don't know if it's right where the zap strap is. Or it could be higher up. I'm pretty sure it's right in here. So they're gonna have to replace these lines. This is the one they replaced last time. Yeah, not good. It looks like it's another easy fix. However, the APU unit might, I think that's a different story. Well, we got the mechanic here, he's looking at it. Turns out that the hose that's going to the firewall burst, and he's boring a hose from the actual APU unit line to put on the one that burst, and hopefully that'll get me into Phoenix, but this isn't looking good. Just nothing but problems with this thing. Another line could go too, if I don't know what's going to happen. So I don't know if I want to trust driving this thing back to Calgary at the rate this is going. This is ridiculous. So the powers that be are going to have to make a decision whether or not this thing gets repaired in Phoenix, or we bring it out and gets repaired in Vegas or wherever, but it's got to get done. I'm going to be down probably for a few days. But you know what? I don't really care right now. What matters to me is getting this load to where it's supposed to go, and then just go from there and figure out what we're going to do. Because this another line could blow if all I know. It's the lines going to the APU, and they just don't seem to be very reliable. Pretty bad, eh? Truck's a year old and we're having all these issues with these lines. I mean, I don't know what to say about that. But hopefully this guy will get it done and we can be moving, we can be on our way and get this load delivered at least. Okay, we're all done here. He's set it, Mickey Moused it in a way where one of the lines is he replaced one of the lines from one of the other APU lines to see if at least I can get into Phoenix. Not quite sure what they're gonna want me to do besides that afterwards. I am a little bit nervous though now, because now that's 2 lines that have blown on this thing, and I don't know how long it's gonna last. Yeah, I am nervous about it, and I got a lot of hills to climb too. I'm just praying that I make it. Okay, we are going to stop at the Flying J. We're going to top up the reefer, also top everything up, because in the event that I have to drop this trailer, and you never know, they may not get to it until the morning, I want to make sure that this reefer has got enough fuel in it to keep everything nice and frozen. Oh boy, this has been a very interesting trip. Well, so far I seem to be okay. The hose hasn't burst on me or anything. So far, so good. I've been here before.
Yes, I have. I have been here before. Okay. And I do remember the last time I think I was here, it would not let me park in certain places, so they made me leave. And I do believe they charge you for parking in here too. Let's see here, what do we got here? Oh, these are staggered. Great. Oh. Tell you one thing, man, I'll be glad when this day is over. I really will. This'll be interesting to see. Apparently they just put the trailers wherever they want when they're done with them. It looks like you can park on any side of the road here, so. Well, I have my next assignment. I can't remember the name of the town. It might be Gonzales or something. I can't remember what it is. In Arizona. It's 3 hours away from here. But we got that load taken care of. Now we grabbed an empty trailer that was outside the place that one of our other drivers dropped off. And now we got to go find ourselves a blue beacon and get this trailer washed out, because I'm picking up some mixed vegetables, mixed produce rather, that is going to be going to Loblaws in Calgary, so we got to make sure that trailer is washed out really well. And that is the plan. Well, good morning, everyone. I made my way to my pickup in Nogales, Arizona, and then made my way back over to this rest area. Pulled in here and everything was fine.
Nice and quiet, peaceful. And then I wake up this morning to this. Ashes everywhere. I guess somebody had pulled in here last night, heard a bang on his reefer, and the whole thing went up in flames. The whole trailer's gone. That's amazing. Just imagine if the guy would have pulled in right next to me here. That would have been a very interesting evening. Yeah, I didn't know anything that was going on last night. Wake up in the morning, there's a trailer next to me torched. Boy. I notice there's a guy next to me, a bobtail. I don't know if that was his trailer or not. But, yeah, things like that can happen. Maybe the reefer went, maybe the fuel tank went. I don't know. It's hard to tell. But I'm glad we were safe last night. But I don't like seeing stuff like that. Poor guy came all the way out here. We're right almost on the Mexican border. So that's quite a distance to come down here just to have your trailer go up in flames like that. That's really bad. That makes me sad when I see stuff like that. I had a chance to talk to the gentleman that was parked next to me. It was his trailer that went up. He said he was driving down the road, he heard a pop, and then he decided to pull into the rest area and pulled over and realized that there was a fire underneath the back of his trailer. He took the fire extinguisher out, tried to put it out. He said there was no way he could put it out, it was too hot. I'm guessing one of his brakes seized up or partially seized up to the point where it got hot enough to burst the tire, and when it gets that hot, you ain't gonna put it out with a fire extinguisher. That's not gonna happen. That's why it's so very, very important to always keep an eye on your mirrors. They say you're supposed to look at your mirrors every 7 to 10 seconds. So you got one tire seized up or partially, you're gonna tell, it's gonna drag a bit, but you're gonna be able to tell too, just looking at your tires, whether or not you're leaving a skid mark behind. There's times where I have driven down the interstate or highway and seen skid marks going for like 2-3 miles. I don't know how you can go that long without realizing your tires are dragging, unless you're not paying attention to your mirrors at all. So my dear friends, new to the industry, always keep an eye on your mirrors. Watch those back tires. 7 to 10 seconds, just take a little glimpse, make sure everything's good. You just never know. You catch it grabbing right away, you might be able to pull it over in time before it gets to the point where it sets your entire trailer on fire. Well, I am hoping that we have a successful run back to Calgary without any issues. It would be nice to just relax a little bit. It's been a bit stressful towards the end of this trip, but at least we're moving, and we didn't have to be towed somewhere, so we're okay. We are okay. And maybe I might be able to actually enjoy some of the landscape. I really do enjoy driving through Arizona. It's such a different culture, such a different area. You've got your desert area, you've got your Joshua trees, palm trees, the way the houses are built with the ceramic tiles on the roof for the heat. Some of the animals that you see running through the desert fields. The mountain landscape is beautiful. It really is a beautiful state. If you don't break down in the middle of the desert, it's nice. I just wanted to share this with you. Look at this view. Look at this gorgeous view. Look at those rock mountains up there. They almost look like the Rockies. Maybe they are part of the Rockies. But just look how amazing this is. Just down the road, and about another 7 or 8 miles, is the Hoover Dam. But this is just spectacular. Just beautiful. Good morning, everyone. It is just before 8 a.m. And we are back in Cedar City at a rest area. And probably make it to Butte tonight. Or Rocker, one or the other. They're right across the street from each other, more or less. Noticed that my coolant levels are dropping again in the middle of the night. I don't know where the fluid is going. So we topped it up again. So I'm really hoping that I make it to Calgary and then make it into Vancouver, and I don't care if it takes them 3 days to try to figure this problem out. They need to fix it because it's becoming stressful just doing this job right now, not knowing whether or not I'm going to make it to point A to point B. So first things first, get it to Carrier, get them to fix this problem. I don't know how long that's going to take. And then over to Freightliner across the street, I'm going to ask maintenance if they will set me up an appointment where they can do a pressurized test on the coolant system to see if it's leaking anywhere. It could just be the hose issue I'm having, the Mickey Mouse job that the guy did just to get me going. And it could be just leaking very, very small amounts there. I don't know. Or it's leaking somewhere else. I just don't know where it's leaking. I can't see any water on the ground, and it's not evaporating because it's cold out. Believe me, I know. Had to get up a couple times in the night and restart the engine because the auto shutdown keeps turning off. Or the idle shutdown initiates, and then you wake up like... So I'm trying to be positive. It's very, very hard to be. The last 3 weeks have been nothing but coolant issues, and it's getting frustrating now. So I'm trying to find something very uplifting to read. And I found something. It's a short psalm, and I'm going to share it with you guys. Just something to try to make me feel a little bit more uplifted, positive. And I'm not trying to be negative, but it's getting frustrating now, having to deal with this every day. Every day almost for 3 weeks. Always watching the coolant, not knowing if it's going to burst a hose, blow up, or what. And another thing I'm going to get them to check when I'm in Surrey, and I'm going to get them to check the pressure release valve. Maybe it's malfunctioning, maybe it's not working. So, whatever. When I get into Surrey, they're going to get it all fixed. I don't care if it takes a week. I am not taking the truck back out until I know for a fact that it is not leaking and that the hoses are good and everything is good to go and APU is working. Psalm 67 I want to share with you. It's very short. A little bit of extra Bible break if you want to call it. God be merciful to us and bless us and cause his face to shine upon us, that you may be known on earth, your salvation among all nations. Let the peoples praise you, O God. Let the peoples praise you. Oh, let the nations be glad and sing for joy, for you shall judge the people righteously and govern the nations on earth. Let the peoples praise you, O God. Let the peoples praise you. Then the earth shall yield her increase. Our God, our own, shall bless us. God shall bless us, and the ends of the earth shall fear him. And this is to the chief musician on a stringed instrument, probably from David. This was a song. And I am guessing that David probably had a good voice. He did a lot of singing. A lot of the psalms he did with his lyre, and that is a instrument. I don't know how many strings are on the lyre, but apparently it's a beautiful sounding instrument. It kind of makes you wonder. David spent a lot of time alone in writing and singing to the Lord, and I wonder what that must have been like for God. Here is this man of God down here that's doing everything he can just to draw close to God, and he's singing to him, he's writing songs. It must have been very, very intimate for God and David. It's very, very special. That's what I'm striving for. It's what I'm striving for when I'm out here on the highway. It's not quite the same thing. I don't have an instrument. I'm not singing to him. But I talk to God every single day, several times throughout the day. And, well, more than several times. And I'm not saying that to boast. I'm saying it because when you walk with God, you are walking with Him every moment of your day. It's like being married. When you have your husband or your wife with you, let's just say you're truck drivers and you're teen drivers, or maybe you're super singles, which means you come along, you're both awake during the trip, and you're constantly interacting with each other. That's wonderful intimacy, and that's what we should have with God. Our walk with God should not be a prayer in the morning and a prayer at night. Maybe a little reading, and that's it. It should be constant communication all day long. And sometimes I need Him all day long, especially with the issues I've been dealing with this APU situation. Stop here in McCammon to do our 30, top up our fuel, find out if our coolant is low, because I can smell it. It's leaking somewhere, I just don't know where. I'm so tired right now, I'm just mentally exhausted. I just haven't gotten any sleep in the last 3 days, getting up every 3 hours to start the truck to warm up. Yeah, it'll wear on you, it really will. Oh, they fixed these parking lots. Okay, looks like number 1 is open for business. Or maybe it's, yeah, let's see here. Oh, they got exhaust fluid here. I like to top those up all the time because You just never know. The further north we get, everything might end up freezing up. All right. We have arrived. And the temperatures aren't too bad here. It's 2 degrees, so we're okay. Well, my friends, a little bit of extra bonus coverage for you. Didn't make it in, well, I made it into Calgary, but not very far. Another hose blew. And there's something really serious going on where there's just building up pressure and it's blowing hoses off. It didn't blow up the hose, it just blew it off and it dumped all my coolant. The belt that goes to my alternator and everything else, it completely came off because the coolant can be very greasy, and when it gets in with the belt, the belt just slid right off. So the belt has to be replaced if he can get it on. So I got a mechanic here showing up. It's minus 26 degrees out here. I cannot start the truck. I got no APU. I got no bunk heater. It is extremely cold right now in this truck. And yeah, this is turning into be a real disaster. And anyway, it is. I just for kicks, I thought I'd see if that bunk heater would turn on, but it's not going to turn on. And the way this traffic along this highway is, they have no consideration whether or not you got triangles out or not. It's really bad out here in Calgary. Any other main road, people get into the other lane, but for some reason out here, they insist on driving over top of your triangles. They just don't care whether or not someone's pulled over on the side of the road. I've already had 3 police officers drive by, not willing to offer any kind of assistance or anything, because you know, it's cold. It's freezing out here right now, and I've had nobody offer any assistance at all. It's really, really bad. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 lanes, and they still have to drive down the lane where you're broken down. It's really, really sad. really hope that mechanic shows up quick because it's getting really cold in here. Well, I am currently at New West. I don't even know what they're called here. New West something. Truck Centers. And out here in Calgary. The mechanic managed to put a new belt on, put the hose back on, changed the high pressure valve, and changed another cap. And refilled it again with coolant. That's twice now I've lost all my coolant in less than a week. So now I'm over here. They're not going to be able to do a whole lot with my truck today because they're really swamped. But they're going to change the perimeters so the idle does not, or the idle shutdown is disengaged, so that way I can keep warm tonight. Because when I was over at Highway 2 there on the side of the road with no heat or nothing, I kid you not, I was getting frostbite on my fingers. It was so cold. Right now it's minus 30 with a wind chill of about minus 35 to 38. It's very cold. So yeah, my fingers lost their feeling and everything, and they were hurting really bad. So but I'm really grateful that the mechanic got me going anyway. I made my way over here. So now I'm just waiting to get in front of a door here so they can turn the idle shutdown off. And then I'll be back here tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. to get some repairs done, get them to check the system to make sure it's not going to blow another hose. Hopefully I will be gone. I won't be here all day tomorrow. Half the day would be nice, and then I can get rolling and then be in Surrey, hopefully, if nothing else blows, by Sunday afternoon. So much fun. So much fun.